To lead the Skol chant and sound the Yaller horn, please welcome the 31st Adjutant General of the Minnesota National Guard, Major General John Jensen.
Well, hello, this is John Randall, Minnesota Vikings legend, and it is my pleasure to say, Minnesota Vikings fans uncensored, are you ready? Keith, get your people up. Let's go. Skol, 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 baby. Let's go.
Hello, Vikings fans. Welcome to Let's Skol Show in week 33 of the offseason. I'm Fish. That's right. I'm Fish. And as always, I have with me Mr. Positivity, Cody Bowden. He who greets with smoke Skolful Shack of the Caribbean reference today. Our Captain Keith is in the background doing his Keith stuff back there, getting this thing going. Tonight, we are 20 days away from the regular season NFL football. Any players come to mind when you hear that number? Fans continue to say KOC is on the hot seat in 2026. Is he? We finally got a player in the top 100 players. You'll have to stay tuned to find out who that is. We've soaked in Saturday's first preseason game, and we've got some takes. And the Ravens are in town. Who's purpler, us or them? For joint practices in our second preseason game, so let's talk about it. We will go around the Gallahorn with our hot takes, make some prophecy predictions. But before all that, let's break this ice. Fellas, we've seen all the different takes that, organizations and coaches have about playing starters in the preseason. How do y'all feel about playing starters versus not playing starters?
I mean, I could care less if the starters, play quarters or halves. I do like to see them playing a series out there and then get the football under their feet and continue into the regular season with that. I'd like to see more of a game planning aspect within the 3 weeks of the team you're going to play for week one, because you know how it happens in week one. You always come out sluggish. You're not there on your feet. The game plan goes out the window. The script is gone, and just try to use this time to fortify a good script, an opening script that will work against the team you're going to play week one. But I want to see the starters play. I just don't want to see the starters play more than a quarter or half. One series I'm fine with. Just continue to get that football underneath them. Regular season is the regular season. We once saw the Lions go 4-0 in preseason, yet go 0-16 in the same year. So just for a drive, I'm okay with it.
I know for me, it's more so I get the fear of, having your star players get injured during a preseason game, which is kind of technically meaningless. But I'm just tired of all the slow starts we've been having since we hired KOC as a head coach. Yeah, we mostly win our opening game, but it's just like I feel like if we just would have played preseason, our team would have been off to a faster start the last couple of years rather than we waiting, give them time, and then that's when the team finally clicks, and then now we playing on all cylinders. Because you got some coaches who play their star players, like the Chiefs. They usually play Patrick Mahomes during the preseason. I know Joe Burrow just played for the Bengals the last preseason game. He played a drive or two. So it's kind of like you got to weigh your options. Do you want them to finally get a full game experience week 1, or do you want to ease them in preseason, and then rest in the third preseason game, and then give them that full bye week before week 1? So I'm on board of, let your starters get their feet wet. Yeah, we got joint practices, but joint practices aren't the same as a preseason game, and a preseason game isn't the same as a regular season game, but it's steps to it. And I need them to take that step of actually playing a preseason game rather than just doing joint practices.
Yeah, and Cody, I'm sure you'll be able to appreciate this one. The first time you fire your gun, you don't want it to be in a live situation. You want to practice a little bit. I don't know what the exact number is, but I need there to be a certain snap count for the starters to play at, so that way they can actually get their feet in. I just want them to be able to start to get the feel of live round football, even if it's preseason. And I don't buy the bullshit that coaches be saying where they're like, we get more out of practice than we do. No. It's as close to a live situation as you can. Even if you're going vanilla on your offense, vanilla on your defense, in a game with a crowd, taking the call, going to the huddle, bringing it to the line, getting the play off on time, executing the play, no matter how you try to tweak it in practice, there's always some limiting thing. It could be where you're only using half the field and you've got the rest of your team like right behind you, as we've seen in all these practices where they're only using 40 yards of the field. No, the whole field, the whole game vibe, the whole situation. And you need it all. You need all that to get those steps down.
I think they should be playing. There was a time where I didn't think so, but it's kind of situational. It really depends on what's going on with your team. You got new players, they should probably play.
Mm-hmm.
You're putting in a new system, you should probably try it out. You got a new coach, you should probably have your guys out there seeing how they're adapting to your style. I don't think that one series is doing any good. Like, if you're worried about injuries, that injury could happen on that one series just as well as it can happen playing later on. So if you're really worried about injuries, then I think playing that one series is even more risky, because I don't think you're doing anything that's going to help your football team by playing just one series. You're the only thing that could happen is bad stuff. Like, you're not getting any better. Like, preseason is a tune-up. Instead, teams end up playing week 1 and week 2 as their tune-up. Why not get that out of the way? Go in there, ready to go all in week 1. And I think the only argument anybody has is injuries. You can get injured in week 1. Like, does that make it any better?
I mean, the more you play them, the more they're suspect to an injury, though. And there's a difference between getting injured in a meaningful game and a meaningless game.
I don't think there is.
I mean, they could get injured during practice. They literally could get injured during practice.
They can get injured kicking a glass door trying to get in the house.
What could have been? He could have been our playoff quarterback.
I mean, what happens when you throw him out there for a quarter or a half and Justin Jefferson goes down with a season-ending injury? Like, what happens
if that happens in week 2?
Well, week 2 is a meaningful. Week 2 is a meaningful game. It actually counts. Week 2 preseason does not.
Change your season just as much. It does.
Yeah. But what's rather getting fired as a head coach or a training staff? It's probably during the preseason.
I can see it both ways. I guess it's a risk and reward.
Rinaldi had it right. There's one or two teams.
He doesn't have it right. He's just talking to talk, because that's not true. Mahomes plays more when he's healthy. Joe Burrow plays a damn half. Like, no,
he played 2 drives.
This in the first one, I bet you he plays more than this one. And last year he played into halftime. So it's not just those 2 teams.
But this is becoming new. Like, I remember back in the day when we had 4 preseason games, they'd do a drive the first preseason game, maybe a quarter the second preseason game, and then a half plus a quarter in the third preseason game, and then all the backers play the fourth. Now it's the starters don't play, and we got a bunch of backups trying to compete for backup positions.
Yeah, that was a good one, Fish. But yeah, I think they
Don't
should play.
expect to see any
not a
Bengals
full
starters
game.
play again this preseason.
What's
The
that?
whole NFL is doing it.
I mean, so here's my take on it. Also, it's like if you feel like you're the best team in the NFL and you don't have to do preseason, then you could do that. So it's only be like maybe 10 teams that don't gotta play their starters. If you don't know where you stand in the NFL, you better play your starters.
There's only
Crazy to
17
think
games.
that a team that's always in Super Bowl competition is out there playing their $50 million a year MVP quarterback all the time, Shaq.
I mean, hey, who am I? Who am I to argue against that, right?
Right.
Well, in 20 more days, we don't have to talk about preseason anymore because that's when regular season football kicks off. And like we do around this time, we like to talk about players who wore the number of the days away we are. Number 20. Some notable names. Madu Williams. Where's my man E? Mo
Where
Williams.
is he on that one?
Mo Williams. I mean, most people know him for that throwback to Randy Moss. A slew of cornerbacks: Dwayne Washington, Mackenzie Alexander, Chris Cook, Jeff Gladney, rest in peace. And some guy I saw named Duke Shelley.
The Duke.
You heard of that name, Fish?
Oh, what could have been and what still could be.
A lot of cornerbacks and DBs.
Yeah, I mean that's the number. I think it used to be kind of a running backish number, but you don't see too many number 20 running backs anymore. But the very first player to wear number 20 for the Vikings was a running back, and that was Tommy Mason. He was the first ever player drafted by the Minnesota Vikings in 1961. Played 6 seasons for the Vikings as a halfback, averaged 4.3 yards a carry, had 28 rushing touchdowns to go along with 11 receiving touchdowns. He was a 3-time Pro Bowler and an All-Pro in 1963. He was the first Viking ever to be first-team All-Pro. He did end up playing 5 more seasons with the Rams and Redskins before retiring at the age of 32. But Tommy Mason, first ever drafted Minnesota Viking. Fish, what was it like watching Tommy Mason?
Well, a little before my time. I might have been swimming around in the nutsack like, yo, what's going on up there?
Rinaldi says stud. He remembers. I think Rinaldi had a Tommy Mason jersey.
It was probably a size 2 toddler.
But he had it, damn it.
He remembers.
The next notable player to wear number 20, we actually talked about him a year or two ago. I think it was 2 years ago when he got into the Ring of Honor, but that's Bobby Bryant. And he's probably the most decorated Minnesota Viking to wear the number 20. Played his whole 13-year career with the Vikings. He was considered an elite ball hawk cornerback. He anchored the Minnesota Vikings secondary during a time when they were mostly known for a defensive line, the Purple People Eaters. He had 51 interceptions, which was second most in Vikings history behind Paul Krause's 53. We hear a lot about Paul Krause, but we don't hear as much about Bobby Bryant, which is crazy when they were that close. He was part of that 1968 championship team that people like to forget because we do have a ring. We're not ringless. He is one of only 11 Vikings to play in all 4 of their Super Bowls. And spoiler, they didn't win any of those 4.
Damn.
Sorry, Shaq. Sorry to break it to you like that. Second team All-Pro in 1969, 2-time Pro Bowler, Minnesota Vikings Ring of Honor, one of the 50 greatest Vikings, part of the 25th and 40th anniversary team. And social aspect of it, Bryant was roommates with Alan Page, and they became the first ever players of black and white to room together. So they broke that barrier, and they were friends, pretty much for the rest of their lives. It's kind of crazy with how good he was as a Minnesota Viking that it took him to the age of 78 to get put into the Ring of Honor.
Being overshadowed.
I mean,
we don't have Peterson on here. Peterson can give us eyewitness on this guy.
I'm just saying, like, Adrian Peterson not even retired yet, and we're already putting his number up there.
I mean, we can retire 20.
I'm not saying retire. We don't get Rinaldi started on retiring numbers. I'm just saying the Ring of Honor.
We'll have to retire. We have to call Chuck Demmons up and tell him, "Yo, you gotta take that jersey off."
Well, if you want an inspirational quote saying "No, you ain't,"
hey,
Chuck will make you feel good about yourself while he's denying you.
So the last one I got, Fish, you probably are more familiar with, and that's running back Darren Nelson, who was drafted 7th overall in the 1982 draft, the year I was born. He was taken 3 picks ahead of Marcus Allen, and that really follows him to this day. And while he wasn't Marcus Allen, he was a solid running back for the Minnesota Vikings. He spent 9.5 years with the Vikings. He was part of the Herschel Walker trade, but refused to go to the Cowboys. So they traded him to the Chargers, where he spent 2 seasons, and then came back to the Vikings for 2 more years. Really ahead of his time as a dual threat running back. He had rushed for 4,200 yards as a Viking, and he had another, 2,200 yards receiving. He also returned punts and kicks and was a big part of that 1987 team that almost went all the way. However, it was one of his plays that might be the reason they didn't go all the way. On a 4th and goal from the 6-yard line with less than a minute remaining, they threw it to him at the goal line, and he dropped the ball, sealing a 17-10 victory for the Redskins. Fish, walk us through that.
The eternal heartbreak that is 87. You know, it's kind of like in 09, right, where everybody kind of goes to the Brett Favre thrown across his body and the interception. And then people who paid attention to the game, they go, no, you had this and you had this and you had this. And it's the same thing with that game. It's just this was the last play to happen. And the ball, he was right on the goal line. Even if he'd have caught it, I'm not so sure. I don't know if he would have been like his forward progress would have been stopped before he broke the plane. But the fact of the matter is that once again, this one play where our Super Bowl destiny hinged on it, and he's the face of it. Versus, and I will say this more specifically, we had a safety who dropped an interception that would have sealed the game also. But yeah, you want to talk about heartbreak. Andrew, we got this way of doing that. Kind of first time being a Vikings fan. Yeah, it really was.
You can't talk about Vikings history without there being heartbreak. And I agree with you, Fish. Obviously, I didn't see that play live. I was 5 years old, but I have seen the play. And I look at it as like, this is what everybody's complaining about. It's like, even if he catches this, I'm not so sure he gets in.
He was not drifting into the end zone. He might have slightly been drifting out of it. And he was being hung on. There's a case for pass interference on that play. He was being hung on by a defender, and I'm not sure that he would have got in the end zone with it.
And I believe I heard that play was actually designed to go to Anthony Carter, but he had slipped or fell on that play, so it was kind of just improvised. It wasn't really even supposed to go to Nelson. But, yeah, I don't know that he gets in, and then they would have had to score that touchdown, kick the extra point just to go to overtime.
Mm-hmm.
So, we would have had to take overtime against the scrubs, the replacements.
There was no replacements at this point.
87 was the replacement year.
Not for the playoffs.
That happened in the regular season.
Doug Williams was still the quarterback.
Because he was good.
Super Bowl winning quarterback, Doug Williams.
I know.
I heard there was reports that they took Nelson because Marcus Allen didn't want to play for us. They said Marcus Allen didn't want to play for us, so we took Darren Nelson instead.
That's not. I don't know how they wanted more. They wanted more of the pass catching running back. because I think they had another running back at the time that was more of like a traditional running back, so they wanted like kind of the dual threat thing. Dummies.
They wanted Roger Craig back.
Marcus Allen had duck feet when he ran. He wasn't no good.
Yeah. I wonder what school he went to.
I don't know. We don't talk about that stuff here. We talk about NFL football. And speaking of NFL football, I just wanted to touch on something that now that the quarterback situation's kind of taken its course. The other thing that Minnesota Viking fans have been talking about a lot this offseason is KOC and whether or not he's on the hot seat entering this 2026 season. Do you guys think that KOC is on the hot seat or that he should be?
Yes.
100%. I mean, I think I said it last week. All the chips are in on Kyler Murray for him because Nolan Teasley has zero ties with anybody else. If you go into the year with Kyler Murray and you end up winning 9 games again, you're pretty much. I think you're pretty much done. You put all your chips in on him, and then you got to look at J.J. McCarthy. I mean, J.J. McCarthy's on his 5th-year options in May. You're not going to start him for a year under a new regime. So I think it's over with for KOC if this Murray thing doesn't work out.
The reason I say yes is go ahead, Fitch.
Oh, go ahead, Shaq.
Well, the reason I pretty much agree is because, like, it's not many coaches that miss the playoffs back-to-back years and still is able to coach in the NFL. And it's not like this is second year in the league with us. This is, like, going on year 6 or year 5. And, like, I feel like I might sound like Zoe, but at a certain point, we have levels to this. Just winning the regular season is not enough. We need a playoff win or 2 to show why he still deserves to be a head coach in the NFL. If we're going to keep, he has a good regular season record, but at the end of the day, we want a Super Bowl. If we just wanted to appear in the playoffs every now and then, we could have kept Zimmer for that. We got rid of Zimmer because we lost the team and we wasn't getting back to the playoffs. So at the end of the day, I feel like KOC is on the hot seat. And I like KOC. I want him to prove that he's the quarterback guru, and I want him to keep our offense humming. So he deserves to be on the hot seat. I expect NFC Championship game. If he don't make it to NFC Championship game, then I wouldn't be mad if he got fired.
Damn. So Cody and Shaq pretty much got KOC on the hot seats. What I heard from that. What about you, Fish?
I think he should be, but he's not. He has masterfully maneuvered himself through this whole process to at least protect himself for another year or 2. Very simply, and I've said it before, it's the 2 silos in hiring Norman Teasley, but allowing him to report directly to the owners and not Norman. These owners are excessively patient, even though they said it's not infinite, right? What do they say, Cody?
Patience is not infinite.
It's damn near close with the Wilfs, man. This team was imploding on a biblical scale between Zimmer and Spielman, and they got extended and then fired the next year. So, I mean, he talks right. He says all the right things. He does. I think he should be, but he will not be unless he has a really bad season this year. He's got a year or 2 with the way things are set up.
Could that be a trend, though? An extension, and the next year you're fired?
Well, this would be 2 years after.
2 years after? Close enough.
No, I don't see it. I don't think he's on the hot seat at all. A lot because Kwesi was the fall guy, took the fall, exonerated KOC from, a lot of things went bad. But honestly, how many things went bad? When KOC had his starting quarterbacks for at least 10 games, he won 12 and 14 games and went to the playoffs. Okay, they lost in the playoffs, sure. But the 2 seasons that he actually had his starting quarterback and didn't have to play 4 quarterbacks, we won double-digit games and went to the playoffs. We won division title. So he has been a really good coach for us, and he's getting a fresh new start with the new GM, and the GM has no power over him. He is not on the hot seat, and I don't think he should be. He's the winningest coach in our franchise's history through the first 4 years of their tenure. So I'm not ready to go ahead and throw that away. However, I do expect him to win a playoff game this year. I do expect that, but I'm not going to say, "Oh, you didn't win a playoff game. You're out of here, buddy."
Would you? Let's say Kyler Murray gets hurt, J.J. McCarthy steps in and does a poor job. Now, if the Wilfs keep him after that, does that say a lot about maybe J.J. McCarthy wasn't Kevin O'Connell's guy at quarterback the entire time? If they keep him?
I think that his guy, not his guy, is overplayed. We all know that wasn't his number one choice.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, we can say that, it doesn't have to have been his guy for him to have been on board with the pick. It doesn't have to be his guy for him to have been able to develop him.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't care if it was his guy or not. A failure to develop him is more damning.
It is.
Unlike a lot of people, I don't consider him a QB whisperer because he hasn't done nothing to earn that. And I don't know that the Wilfs consider him that. It's because he played the position of quarterback. The media like to spin that and call him the QB whisperer. So, I guess you would like to hope that that's what he was going to come in here and do. But we did take the 5th quarterback in the draft. So, I don't know what they were expecting. I don't like the way it's been handled. Because, like, what made J.J. McCarthy your unquestioned starter last year to now possibly being your 3rd-string quarterback?
Yeah.
What changed so much to where you said we're good on Aaron Rodgers last year?
I was about to say, you know what changed? He looked at the quarterback room and was like, well, obviously JJ is the best quarterback in this room. So he's the unquestioned starter. So it pretty much came down
at the time, it was him or Brosmer, right?
It was him, Sam Howell, and Brosmer competing. Brosmer just got there as a UDFA.
Sam Howell was the backup quarterback, and there was actually good backups last year that were available throughout free agency, and they didn't bring any of them in. And Aaron Rodgers was right there. I'll play for $10 million, man. Let's go make a run at this Super Bowl. Nah, but this year, he's not good.
My thing is you as a head coach and GM, you don't survive if your 1st-round quarterback isn't any good. Like people say, Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan made a Super Bowl before they drafted Trey Lance for that team. KOC doesn't have that backing.
Yeah, the GM got fired.
Yeah,
and that was a
like
casualty.
GM and head coach's role.
There will be no more casualties for JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, I feel like Kyle Shanahan get his ass saved by a great defense in a run game.
So we're missing the run game.
Yeah, I've been saying this. Yeah, like I feel like JJ McCarthy
not missing for a lack of ability.
I feel like JJ McCarthy has such a better career with us if we just have him not have to be the focal point. I get the quarterback has to be the focal point because that's the main position, the star position of an NFL team. But not all quarterbacks can handle that pressure of having to make the right read 100% of the time. Take the load off the quarterback. Not all quarterbacks want to have I need to be the captain 24/7. Even Patrick Mahomes don't have to do that all the time.
I know Vikings, Wilds, Wolves. He says Mac Jones was drafted 15th and already moved on. And what happened to Belichick 2 years later after drafting Mac Jones?
But they weren't winning. The Vikings won.
He found a 24-year-old Instagram model girlfriend.
I was just about to say that, Fish. Belichick won in his eyes.
and he had 7 Super Bowls to back him up. So,
see, Shaq, don't ever
Belichick like, yeah, you can fire me. I'm gonna go coach at North Carolina with my hot 40 years young girlfriend.
So we'll have to see how this season goes. But right now, I say not on the hot seat. Could he play himself into the hot seat in 2027? Sure. But I would bet just about anything that he will be our coach next year unless he was to do something major off the field. But let's get back on the field. The Vikings finally have a player in the NFL's top 100. It took us all the way to 19 to get there. That's crazy. I think by this point last year we had 3. I don't even know if we have any ex-Vikings. Did Grenard make it? Grenard probably didn't even make it on there. Like, I don't know if we have any ex-Vikings making it. Sam Darnold get picked yet? I don't know. But
yeah, he was on there already.
At number 19, Justin Jefferson. So I think we were all pretty sure that, he was going to be on this list. Like, no duh. But are you guys surprised that it was this low, or you think it's fair?
The ranking doesn't show the actual talent of Justin Jefferson, in my opinion. Do I think he should be rated higher? Yes, he definitely should be rated higher. The quarterback situation, and for him to still get 1,000 yards is a testament of the talent alone of Justin Jefferson. So being placed at 19, I can see it, but it's not his fault being placed at 19. It wasn't his fault for his just 1,100 yards or whatnot he ever got. The talent alone should put him higher on this list, but I can see why he's at 19.
I mean, what did Jamar Chase have at quarterback last year? His name hasn't been called yet, and he's going to be on this list.
He had Joe Burrow for 7 games. That's plenty more than what McCarthy did in 10.
If I remember correctly, Jamar Chase started out slow with Joe Burrow.
We're not. Well, the thing is you could. It's kind of like a pop-up season, right? Except this is kind of a pop-down season.
Pop-down season.
If he recovers and he, does his usual Justin Jefferson stuff, except for maybe with a few more touchdowns, just saying, then he'll be right back up in that top 10 again.
I want to say it's not fair, but I guess it kind of is, because you got St. Brown at 22, and St. Brown had a pretty good season, and he's still getting above him, so that's respect. And I think the only wide receivers whose names haven't been called yet, unless they did some today, Jamar Chase, Puka Nacua, and Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Now that I think about it, maybe there's a deeper meaning to this too. Now that you've presented that, because running backs are getting paid again, maybe in a general sense, they're starting to lessen the value of the wide receiver in the grand scheme of things, and more players like running backs and such will be ranked higher than them as the league starts to perceive the value of position differently.
So he's going to end up being probably the 4th wide receiver on this list. And I remember we were all raising hell when that reporter earlier this year said that Justin Jefferson wasn't like a top 2 or top 3 wide receiver. Seems like the league agrees.
You know who's going to be the number 1 wide receiver and who his quarterback was?
Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Oh, yeah. Who's his quarterback, Shaq?
That's on chat. Who was his quarterback?
When Justin Jefferson had that same quarterback, he was number 10 on the list.
Yeah, but was he the number 1 wide receiver, or was he the second? I think he was the second wide receiver.
He was second behind. I think they had Chase ahead of him.
Yeah, Chase went off.
But I feel like, it's more so, even like going by this year alone, I don't think Jefferson should have been even 20th. Not his fault, but it's like you gotta go by the production. And it's not his fault. I still think Justin Jefferson top 3, top 2 receiver in the league. It's just going by what happened last year.
I might fight that just a little bit, because I don't know where this person ended up. But where's Patrick Mahomes on this list?
He dropped. He 13 or something.
Was he really the 13th best player last year? Like when he got injured, they weren't even making the playoffs.
Yeah, he shouldn't have been that high either. I agree. He shouldn't have been that high. He was struggling. They were struggling before he got hurt. It just so happened he got hurt.
I think they do go a little more than just last season.
Unless you're a Viking, Keith.
Well, this is probably the first year that since they've been doing these top 100s that we're only going to end up with one player.
Dang.
Have they announced the full 100?
No, I mean Isaiah Rodgers can still make this thing. It's still a ball game. No, they haven't. They're done to like 15, I think.
It's up to 15. Will Reichert coming up.
I did say Will Riker gonna make the list.
I didn't think about it. I do think he should have made the list. I'd be really surprised if he gets inside the top 15. But honestly, as a kicker, like if he got number 70, that would be freaking awesome.
Has a kicker ever been on the top 100?
Yeah, that's something that we need to look into if a kicker's ever made it.
I thought Cam Little made it this year.
Somebody like Vanderjagt or somebody who's or who was that guy for Baltimore?
Somebody in the chat, look it up. Has a
Justin
kicker
Tucker
ever been put on the top 100 players? Justin Tucker would be a good one.
He on the top most wanted list.
No. I think Justin Tucker did make the list.
He might have made. He was the best kicker for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Vinatieri. See, I don't know when they started doing these top 100s.
It had to be like 2012 or 11.
I think they started doing them when they the 100th year of the NFL.
Yeah.
Shaq, what do you think about this comment? This sounds crazy, but I'd rather have Kirk change right now.
I mean, I think the Raiders fans are hiring.
I'm with the dude.
I would rather have him than what we got going on.
And this is what I didn't want. This is why I wanted J.J. McCarthy to be so successful, because I didn't want to go back to these Kirk Cousins talks. Because we got J.J. McCarthy, so we don't have to talk about Kirk Cousins.
I know.
I just had to ask that question. We don't got to talk about Kirk Cousins. Let's go ahead and talk about that game on Saturday.
Oh.
So the opening drive, Kyler Murray and the offense came out, and they started with a run. And it was a very nice run by Aaron Jones. He had a little 18-yarder on the outside. Ended up having 3 carries for 27 yards. Good to see. Want to see them running the ball. Jordan Mason also had a 15-yard run on the drive. Max Bredesen out there blocking, and he had a catch. Second play of the game, swing pass to Max Bredesen. I think that's a little bit of foreshadowing. Kyler didn't do too much. You know, he only threw 3 passes, 2 or 3, 10 yards. But he did make a nice, difficult throw to Addison on the outside, which, you know, it impressed me. In very limited action, I would say Kyler Murray did pass the eye test of, okay, this guy looks like he's going to be a good, competent quarterback for this team, for as much as you could tell for that. What I found interesting, 6 of his 9 snaps were under center. I've been hearing a lot about the pistol and the shotgun, but he was under center for most of it. What I didn't like is, even though they were moving the ball, they did stall out and end up having to kick a 25-yard field goal. Like, that's been kind of a bugaboo for us, is not being able to finish drives. And I would hope, you know, in the regular season, I get better, especially because, I mean, Kyler Murray is not going to run in preseason. And I think that's going to be a very dangerous weapon for us as we get into the red zone and close to the red zone. But unfortunately, that is all we got to see from the first team offense. What did you guys take away from that drive?
I took away Kyler Murray. It looked like he had a presence on the field looking at the defenses, right? I mean, you got to count for his legs and whatnot and his arm. So they weren't as much in the box against the ring, even though we broke off 2 deep runs. The mishap on the 3rd down play that resulted in the field goal was just a little miscommunication behind Aaron Jones and Kyler Murray. If Aaron Jones would have went out and got that, it would have been a first down. The drive continues, and that stuff's going to happen in preseason, right? And that goes towards your guys' hey, start the starters longer in preseason. Maybe we'll get this down. But I still don't see it. I did like how Kyler Murray did handle the offense. Bredesen stole the show for these starters, hands down, in my opinion, just because of that block he laid off the edge on that first Aaron Jones run. Was just disgusting. So I liked what I saw in the first preseason.
Yeah.
Jack, you were there.
Yeah, I was there. I wasn't there until like the second half. So I watched the first quarter actually at home, and then we decided to drive to the game. So that first drive was amazing. It's just the fact that we finally look like, you know what? we don't have to pass to win games. We could literally pound the ball, get yardage, and we've shown that the Giants got a good defense. They probably gonna be a top 10 defense by the end of the year. But we showed that we can run the ball and get yardage, and the team can't stop us. And when you put that fear that a defense feel like they can't stop your run game, that's when you can open up the trick plays. That's when play action actually starts to work. And you're not just running play action because it's part of the playbook. I like what I saw from Max Bredesen as a rookie fullback. He did get blown up the second play on Aaron Jones' run, but it's still showing effort. He shows the effort. He's not willing to back down, which I'm loving for this offense. I will say, I don't know who fault it was, Aaron Jones or Kyle Murray for that third down incompletion. I don't know if he let him too much or they just had miscommunication. But I feel like it was a good read, and Kyle Murray got him the ball. So,
yeah, I'm not going to give Kyle Murray any excuse because J.J. McCarthy would not get any excuse on that play. So I'm putting that on.
I don't know who fault it was. I'm putting
that on the man behind the center. Fish, what about you? After you watch that, you already starting to think Super Bowl?
Kyler Murray is a handoff merchant. He didn't demonstrate any ability to drive the ball down the field. He couldn't convert on third down with his arm. He was only good at handing the ball off to the running backs. He doesn't look prepared for an NFL passing scheme, or at least this one, which is why we needed more time. 2 for 3 for 10 yards, and some of y'all are probably thinking, Super Bowl, yeah. I needed to see more. I want to give the guy a fair shot. Okay, he's no, I'm not, Robbie. No, I don't. I'm actually very good at it. I want to see more. The guy's a starting quarterback. I want to see more. I want him to do better. I want him to do well. I don't think he will. But it actually played right into kind of how I thought, except for the fact that KOC in a preseason game was willing to run the ball, which I think will evaporate 20 days from now, or however many days it is till we actually play. Alex, what's with the pro-Kyler movement? What has he done to deserve?
Hey, Fish, can I take this real quick and then I'll give it right back to you?
Yes, please.
Alex asks, what's with the anti-Kyler movement among Viking fans? And I just want to say that Michael Fish started that movement months ago.
There's a great article on this too.
On a Let's Go website.
On a Let's Go website.
Alex, there's an article on the Let's Go website called The Manchurian Quarterback. You should read it.
Alex should be writing for the Let's Go website.
Mm-hmm.
He should.
Side note. I mean, I don't know if he has any experience with writing, but we take real amateur stuff because we're just trying to get a library going.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I will say,
sorry to interrupt,
with the Kyler Murray supposedly not playing for week 2, now we get to see J.J. McCarthy possibly with that starting rotation in week 2. How does he fare out going forward? So that's an upside of seeing J.J. McCarthy playing and not Kyler Murray for week 2.
Buddy, if the ones play except for the one guy who the most desperately needs to play, if he's the only one other than maybe Jefferson that doesn't play, there's something seriously wrong in this organization.
No stars will play. Just like last year, the offensive line only played one drive.
Mm-hmm.
That KOC has a style, and he sticks with it. No matter what aspect that we hope he would make some changes in, he's very stuck in his ways. So I do not expect to see starters on the defense or on the offense. Maybe a cornerback. Maybe like the cornerbacks get out there because we don't have that many.
He honestly changed because remember when we had Kirk didn't play preseason. The only quarterback that played preseason was Sam Darnold, J.J. McCarthy, and then Kyle Murray. And they only played that first preseason game.
They all played the first drive. He's got that's all he does. I think Sam Darnold's the only one that led a touchdown drive.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
What's cool he played for,
Shaq? It was a field goal. I remember.
It was a field goal. It was a field goal, wasn't it? Oh, that's the one where I got mad at him because he like missed 2 receivers in the end zone and we ended up kicking a field goal. That's right.
And I think
I was like,
TJ dropped the
this guy
pass.
sucks. No way he's gonna win 14 games for us.
Then after seeing his terrible interceptions in training camp, too.
I still don't believe it happened. Who did Viking fans dislike more at the beginning? Sam Darnold or Kyler Murray?
Ooh, that's a good one.
I think it was Sam Darnold just because Sam Darnold never had a history. At least Kyler Murray has a history of being a good player. I think most of the Murray hate comes from people that want to see J.J. McCarthy play or think that J.J. McCarthy's kind of getting a raw deal. Not saying that's where Michael Fish is at. Michael Fish has made his point known and why he thinks the way he thinks. But I think most of the hate comes from people that want to see J.J. McCarthy. I think if we didn't have J.J. McCarthy and our quarterback was Carson Wentz and we ended up going to get Kyler Murray, I think this fan base would be actually pretty pumped up.
I don't know, man. I think there's more hate for Kyler Murray because the Sam Darnold, J.J. McCarthy thing kind of dissipated after week 1 when we found out McCarthy was hurt for the year. Like, it just kind of like went away. All right, then that's our starter. We got to stick with him.
Right. So
as long as McCarthy's healthy, Murray's going to get the most hate.
Right. So if J.J. McCarthy was out of the picture, Murray would not be getting the hate.
Yeah, he wouldn't be. It'd be the same as Sam Darnold. That's why I think Kyler Murray is getting the most hate right now.
You're arguing with me by agreeing.
Oh, am I? Oh, my bad. my bad.
But yeah, no, I think it really has to do just people that want to see J.J. McCarthy play. Like I said, if Carson Wentz was our only quarterback on the roster going into free agency and we signed Kyler Murray, this fan base would be stoked.
Mm-hmm. And let me also state that right now, at this point in time, I feel that the best quarterback right now to run KOC's offense the way he wants to run it on our roster is still Carson Wentz.
That's becoming a pretty popular opinion. Class G, I've said this many times. The only reason that Kyler Murray's here is because of the salary. Class G asks, let's say Kyler was not at a league minimum. What's the lowest price the Vikings would have paid to get him on this team this year? I think he meant what's the highest price the Vikings would have paid to get him on this team this year. I'm gonna be honest. It would probably be 10 to 12 million.
I was thinking about 1.4.
No, I think 10 to 12. I think, I'm not saying they wouldn't go more, but I think if they're going to go like 15 or more, I think they're probably looking elsewhere. I think they probably would have went to like Aaron Rodgers.
I agree with Ronaldo. I'm thinking 20, 25 million. Because at the end of the day, good or bad, as a starting quarterback that's not a rookie, they're getting that 10 to 20 million. Well, 20 to 25 million.
I think regardless, the price wouldn't have been high for Murray, just because what he was doing in Arizona for those years, often injured, and then the stats weren't lining up. He was having bad games, the benching for Jacoby. So,
like, what did Daniel Jones get after he left the Vikings?
We actually offered Daniel Jones more and he left the Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. It's not like he had a good season with us. He didn't play for us. He was bad on the Giants. The Giants cut him.
That also drives me crazy too. They were prepared to pay Daniel Jones 15, 17 million. Aaron Rodgers says 10. Now we're good.
So it's kind of like
he even says, "I will mentor the kid." He was still a kid last year, Tommy. If you're still in here,
we didn't even call.
He's not a kid no more. He's married. He's a father. He's a husband. He's not a kid anymore. But $10 million. Let's go make a run to the Super Bowl, and I will mentor him. Nah, we're good. But Daniel Jones, damn, $17 million, and he walked out. That's crazy. That's crazy. I never even thought about it like that. Now I'm mad. Let's get back to that game. So the offense, they had the one drive. The starting defense pretty much only had one drive too, and they ended up holding the Giants to only 5 yards thanks to a Dallas Turner sack. They played well. I think the starting defense looked good. I was wondering who would end up being on that defensive line if they put the rookies out there, and they did it. It was Levi and Ingram Dawkins. So I think that's probably what the starting line is going to look like week 1. Mm-hmm. And we'll talk a little bit more about why that's going to be. But the second defensive drive, that didn't go so well. That's because on a 3rd and 23, they gave up a 40-yard play. And the impact of that play was huge because game situation, they should have forced a punt. Real life situation, if they don't let them get that 3rd and 23, Jamal Adams doesn't get injured, which we're going to talk about here in a second. But did you guys have any concerns once the starters came off the field on defense?
I'll say it's just like that occasional mishap our defense have on the B flow. Like we look unstoppable, and then it just take a screen or a quick slant, and then the yak just kills our defense. It's like they need to work better on pursuit angles and making sure if you get a hand on the guy, you bring him down right there instead of letting him fight for yardage. That's what separates elite defenses from good defenses.
I didn't feel bad at all about that play happening to us because it was done by Jameis Winston, and Jameis Winston is the guy holding high regard.
It was a screenplay, Fish. All he did was dump off.
It was a heck of a flick of the wrist.
Yeah.
That was all Singletary, buddy. But I hear you. But we had two guys make pretty bad plays on that should have made that tackle. One being Ivan Pace and one being James Pierre. Ivan Pace, he's known for being a solid wrap-up guy. You know, maybe he doesn't make the tackle, but he at least is able to, make the right angle and stop the guy and slow him down so the rest of his homies come and make the tackle. He took a terrible angle. And then James Pierre, again, he took another bad angle at that tackle. And I don't know if Pierre just wasn't going full speed because of preseason or if that's what we can expect going forward. And if that's true, I'm going to be very disappointed because he ended up being one of those low-key free agents that we kind of got excited about. Like, oh, this is going to be a way better situation than we had at cornerback 3 last year. He was actually really good for the Steelers, blah, blah, blah. If that's how he plays against the run, it might be Chucky D season before we know it.
Mm-hmm. Like, I can understand that was Derrick Henry running at him.
I mean, Singletary is slithery. Like, I mean, that's what he could do. That's what he could do. He's not a consistent give me the ball every time. He's a crafty running back, but still.
What's worrisome about a cornerback taking a bad angle is you're the cornerback, man. You're the perimeter defense. You're all about angles and catching up and all that stuff. You can't have that, especially if you're that cornerback 3 on this defense. Because if you show that you can't play cornerback 3, we're going into nickel looks all the time. And that's putting the safeties we have out there right now on the field. And do you trust the safeties guarding going up against a wide receiver at that wide receiver role? We saw it last year when Metcalf moved to the inside and he just torched us for 80 yards from Aaron Rodgers. So it's worrisome from a cornerback position because you are the perimeter defense.
Yep. They got to start closing in better.
So, Jay, I just want to answer Jay's question. I do have a positive thing to say about Kyler Murray.
It's going to be good.
He only costs $1.3 million.
He got a nice voice.
Okay, Shaq. Okay.
he got a nice voice. And he's a Vikings fan.
So again, after that play that ended up being a Giants touchdown, but the worst thing about that touchdown is that's when Jamal Adams ended up going down on a non-contact injury. I need someone to explain this to me. How you tear your quad on the non-contact injury? Like I can see like a knee or something like that, or an Achilles. How do you tear your quad on a non-contact? Robbie?
It's usually when your momentum is going one way, and then your cleats get stuck in the turf. So now you got 2 momentums pushing on your ligaments and stuff, and then unfortunately, it just rip off the bone.
it didn't look like any of that happened, man. Like it was just so weird.
He just kind of stumble stepped, like almost like he was going to run into the receiver. And I mean, it was a bad angle to see, but that's what it looked like to me. And here's the thing, that's kind of the same injury that he just recovered from, but it was the other leg.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what's crazy. I don't know if there's any other player that has torn both of their quads.
And quads are big muscles.
I mean, that's probably a wrap on his career, unfortunately. But in the short term, how much of an impact is that on this team? I mean, we did just sign him a month ago, so it's not like we had big plans for him, but we did get to see how they planned on using him, you know, kind of like a chess piece all over the field. Maybe playing the back, you know, on the defensive backs, or maybe playing linebacker, maybe playing on the edge. But he might have been competing for a starting position.
Mm-hmm. That what we call it, the Metellus role.
Like, how big of a hit is this for us, or is it just like a bummer to see this happen?
I say it's a I don't want to say minor, but it's like a regular hit. It's not major because I feel like he's more going to be more so like a depth, occasional situational starter for us. Like we put him in for certain occasions, but I don't think we was really relying on Jamal Adams being a difference maker on the defense. So it's like a regular hit. Like I would love for him to, you know, be healthy because we could have used him and he was showing a lot of promise. But it's not like I don't think our defense really needed him that much.
I think it's a big blow to leadership.
I think Adams was going to be sort of like a gadget player on defense and give us a little pop from here and there. And I think that this play is going to be played on A/B repeat when they're talking about switching over to natural grass, next offseason. This is going to be the one that they say, see how unnecessary this was. And 2 weeks prior, there was natural grass on that field for the European soccer players or whatever. We can do it.
Well, yeah. I mean, it usually takes something bad happening to the Vikings for them to change something. when it's too late for us. Whoa, buddy. Vikings Wild Wolves. Theo Jackson, Jay Ward, Josh Metellus are all trash. That's harsh. I
don't think they're all trash. I think they all play roles in the defense, and that's exactly what Jamal Adams would have done, was just been a role player in this defense. Is it a big hit? No, I don't think so. I think he did have, someone mentioned the third down role locked up. I think that was going to be his role on certain situations. It sucks, man. And it sucks for him because of what he had to do to come back to the league and be a good player, you know, and then just have it all wiped out on the opposite leg. It sucks.
I'm just going to say this. If anybody who actually knows Jamal Adams happens to find this video, please stay in contact with that man.
Mm-hmm.
Stay in contact. Make sure he stays up. Don't let him get too far into his own thoughts. Rest in peace, Rondell Moore.
Well, I know KOC
say they are going to keep him around.
Yeah, KOC said they're going to keep him around the practice facilities and, you know, have him be around the team while he rehabs. So.
Yeah, that's a testament to his leadership. Yeah.
So they're doing right by him, and that's good to see. But just knowing that, like, they're still going to pay him his salary and everything. Like, you know, 100% he was making the roster. But, I mean, there was a good chance that he could have started for this team. I mean, maybe he doesn't start week 1, but maybe Eric Wilson isn't having the type of season that he was having last year, and he kind of ends up slowly taking over that role. Or we're getting thin at the safety position, and if Harrison Smith doesn't come back, there's a need there. So do you guys think that we go out and make a move to replace him, or do you think maybe they wait till all the roster cuts and see what ends up being
the roster cut?
Yeah, I think they'd make a move. You know, there's only one player who could replace Jamal Adams.
What school to go to?
I think he went to Florida State. Yeah, he went to Florida State. He does play in LA though.
Verse? Well, no, he's playing in LA no more.
No. Other LA team. He go by Derwin James.
Oh, Derwin James. Didn't he just get signed?
We don't talk about that, Keith. We just talk about bringing the player here.
Shaq always wants the guy that just signed a $100 million contract.
The cap is a myth. We can make money for that contract.
I don't know if they make a move. I think they like what they see with an undrafted free agent that we have.
So I want to get back to what Vikings Wild Wolves said about, Ward, Theo, and Metellus being ass. I don't think they're ass. But would any of them be starting safeties on other teams? That's questionable.
I think they would with other positions around him, other players around him.
Theo Jackson would not be a starter on another team.
I think he would.
I don't.
Wasn't he starting for the Raiders before we got him?
Theo? No, we got him like off a Titans practice squad.
Oh, okay. I knew he was a starter. Damn.
If we keep having enough gadget people go down and we keep getting thin enough at safeties, maybe some of y'all will start to come around to my way of thinking since last year. We've got the next safety on the roster right now.
I don't know.
J.J. McCarthy?
That's going to take away from his sacks. We got a quota.
No, don't. He can come off the edge.
Vikings Wild Wolves. Okay, Metellus ranked 80th out of 98 for safeties. Bro, he's not a safety, right? We all, everybody in the room, we know that, right? He's not a safety.
And
that's what his top football card says. He's not a safety. We all know that. If you watch football, you watch the Minnesota Vikings football, you know he's not a safety. He's a football player.
You got to listen to how B-Flow and the defensive personnel talk about Metellus. They love Metellus for what he's able to do and the knowledge he brings to the team. Like, if they didn't like him, they would never give him that contract. We had the option to move away from Josh Metellus, and we extended him. So, he's not a top 10, top 15 safety, but he does a good role at multiple positions to the point where he's able to, play here, there, and move all along the defensive back room. Not a lot of defensive players can do that, play multiple positions at an adequate level.
Yeah. As a pure safety, no, but he's a football player and he fits really good in Brian Flores' defense. Back to the recap. I know a lot of people in the chat, they don't want to hear us talk about J.J. McCarthy, so let's go ahead and talk a little bit about J.J. McCarthy's day and what you guys see from him. Go for it, Cody. I want Cody first.
The J.J. McCarthy, I thought he played, decent for going to be the backup quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings. He had one great throw to Ty Felton that was dropped by Ty Felton. I thought that was instinctive and it was very fast coming out. The issue I have with J.J. McCarthy during the game is some of the passes were good, that you saw on these highlights, but I don't think the processing isn't there just yet. And I can't make a comparison to Kyler Murray because he had nothing to process in the game. So that's why I want to see J.J. McCarthy with the starters during week 2 and see how he processes that way. But other than J.J. McCarthy, I thought he played okay. I thought he played like he could be the Vikings quarterback too.
What do you think, Fish?
Well, for those of you who don't know, I made an appearance with the Purple Dopes with Hopes this week. And we talked about this subject, and those guys felt like J.J. McCarthy had a regression. He didn't look like he was processing fast enough. And I asked the question, if he completes that pass, if Ty Felton hangs on to that pass, they convert for first down, would your opinion of his play change? And they said no. And I was like, why am I the only positive one here? He completes that ball. The inflection of his play is completely different because he converts a long first down in field goal range already. And was he perfect? No. But of the 3 quarterbacks, because Max Rosenberg barely did anything, one quarterback stood in the pocket, manipulated himself around the pocket, and delivered the ball down the field on most of his passing plays in the manner that KOC expects out of his offense. Didn't complete them all, but he did. He had the longest average per attempt out of all of them, correct? He was trying to push the ball down the field.
Average depth of target, his was around 9. Kyler and Wentz were both at like 4.8.
That's where he sat at last year, top 10 in the league at average depth.
I'm just saying that's what KOC expects and wants from his quarterback. And of the three players that did it, that played in that game, he was the only one who even tried.
I thought he played okay. I don't think he played great. I don't think he played bad. He had a couple bad passes, and those were the incompletes. And then the one that Ty Felton should have caught. He should have been 5-7 for like 57 yards. Pretty decent for the amount of passes he threw. As far as the processing, that's hard for me to make a judgment on because he's also waiting for the receivers to run the longer routes, and you're just thinking he's sitting back there, waiting and not making the right read. So it's hard for me to make the call on the processing, and I know that's been a really big buzzword, among media, but they don't know either. So they don't know what the reads are, and I don't know. Like I'm not gonna say he played great. I thought he played okay. I think we did still see some of the mistakes that we saw him making last year, which is why he's in the position he's in right now. And I still think it's okay that he's not the starter. Like, okay, you know what? Maybe top 10, maybe you weren't a top 10 pick. Maybe your cement needs to still dry and you need some more developing, and that's fine. It's just I hope the Vikings stick with it, and I hope JJ realizes, okay, you know what? I do need to work on things, and this is the best place for me to do that. I want to see J.J. McCarthy get one more real shot here.
Someone asked me who I'd rather see at quarterback too. It's J.J. McCarthy, because if he falls to 3, it's a disaster for the organization, for your football team, your Minnesota Vikings. It's a disaster for them if J.J. McCarthy goes to quarterback 3, because you let him start over Sam Darnold as you let him walk out the door and he went on and win a Super Bowl. Disaster for the organization. Disaster as a fan for your favorite team, Minnesota Vikings.
What do you think about his performance, Shaq?
I feel like it was up and down, pretty much like what we've been seeing from him last year. A lot of inconsistency. Because you got I'm surprised none of you brought it up, that amazing pass he threw to Price in the middle of the field. When he stood in the pocket and just launched it, and Price came down with it. Kind of was a body catch, but it was an amazing throw. And then he had the other pass. I think it was the out route to Price that Price caught on the sideline. But then you got the I feel like it has to be the processing. I don't know if KOC needs to. I know we've been saying this. He's stubborn, but it's not just the J.J. McCarthy processing. We've been complaining about Kirk Cousins. Throw the ball, get the ball out. Sam Darnold, why are you holding on to the ball too long? So it's kind of like, is it really J.J. McCarthy, or is it KOC not having the quarterback get the ball out at an adequate time when he know his offensive line can't block? And I know I've seen the numbers. They said J.J. McCarthy had a long time to throw the ball, but it's kind of like something's not adding up to why he's holding on to the ball for so long.
I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with the longer routes. And, I mean, you see it in the average depth of target. He's throwing double what Carson Wentz was throwing. So, I mean, you got to wait for those receivers to get open. He's also playing with the backup lineman.
Yeah.
And I'm really not trying to make excuses for him. Like, I don't think he looked like, oh, man, if we had him, we're definitely going to the playoffs. I'm not going to say that. But I think he got ripped apart by the media and by the fan base after that game. And for what? Like, I don't think he played like total ass, like, oh my God, get this guy out of here. And that's what the whole conversation was.
Yeah, and it honestly shouldn't be. He's playing to be the quarterback too. Your quarterback too is going to look sloppy at times. It's going to look good at times. Let it be there. That's where it should end. I thought his best play was to Ty Felton on the drop pass. His worst play was the sack he took, because he was looking at that out route receiver on the far right a little too long. That's all I can see.
This narrative too, JJ don't command the huddle well. Oh yeah, because like the play clock was going down on him, he had to hurry up the plays. Carson Wentz had to call timeout twice because the play clock was running out.
That's why Kyler Murray's a starter.
Kyler Murray played 6 plays. Like, KOC is very wordy. I'm sure his playbook is too.
I mean, look, I think if one thing Kirk Cousins is he's maybe honest to a fault. He did sell his entire Atlanta Falcons organization down the drain in his first press conference by telling the truth. And he said, this is a hard offense. You got to go through too many reads. And that's a how many year vet?
Thank you for answering that for me, Alex.
Yeah, Alex had a boy.
Yeah, answer your question. I think he was what? He had to be. He's at least a 10-year vet when he was with us.
And let us not forget that the whole QB whisperer moniker came to KOC because of how famously it was broadcast that he was in Kirk Cousins, a 10-year vet, in his ear, giving him a 10-year vet guidance on look for this, if this, do this, right up until the 15-second throughout the entirety of that first season. A 10-year vet, and he was coaching him like he was in Pee Wee football right up till the snap of the ball.
Did Matthew Stafford ever talk about KOC?
KOC wasn't in his helmet.
I'm saying though, but I wonder if this. I probably have to look that up. Like if Matthew Stafford ever said anything good or positive about KOC being a coordinator when he was there with the Rams.
Why would he? KOC wasn't doing shit.
Probably about as much as our quarterbacks talk about Wes Phillips.
He was calling Wes Phillips.
Because that's the thing. That's the thing. If the Vikings win a Super Bowl this year, Wes Phillips will be interviewed for head coaching jobs next year.
Bye.
I'm not saying no, but I'm just saying I'm not saying that that KOC had this great resume. It's like, well, we can't get McVay. Let's get the guy that's close to him.
Freaking some offensive coordinator gonna get fired. Shit.
Yeah, but they might want to actually offensive coordinate. Can't do that here. What do you guys think about our draft picks in this one?
Max Bredesen did great.
Yeah, Bredesen did great.
He did, but again, he only played a few snaps, but it looks like he's going to be a big part of this offense. That run by Aaron Jones on the outside, he went around the outside, lead blocker, took out 2 Giants. That's crazy. Like, it's nice to see him plow one. Like, I heard Thor Nystrom say he called Max Bredesen the eraser because he erases at least one player on the defense every play. That's one less person you got to worry about.
I think we're going to get a little bit of that Cam Scatterbo energy from him.
I hope not.
I thought the rookies played to what it was going to be expected of them playing in preseason week 1. You were going to see the draft scouting knocks on them in preseason week 1. You weren't going to see a finished project, especially with Caleb Banks. You got to think about Caleb Banks. His knock was pad height. We saw it in preseason week 1. Now add on top of him missing football for the length of period he has actually missed, you were bound to get those things out there in preseason week 1 from him.
I don't know, man. We've been hearing a lot of great stuff about them coming out of camp and running with the ones and looking like a men amongst boys. And I didn't see any of that. And they weren't even going against starters.
Well, did you see our second string offensive line?
I'm just saying, like, I expected more out of Banks. Orange, I expected more too, but Banks was our number 18 overall pick. I expected to see more from him. I'm not pressing a panic meter or anything like that. It's just I did expect more based off what we heard. Claiborne, I could see what the Vikings are trying to do with him, what they like with him, but you damn near have to manufacture an open lane for him or else nothing doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's try not to run him up the middle.
In a goal line situation.
Yeah. The goal line thing was silly. Like, bring Max Bresson back in and let's just see like if he can just run him over. Let's just do that.
When I was watching that at the game,
why
I'm like, yo,
why do we
keep
have
running up the middle?
Why do we have Claiborne push Carson Wentz and do tush push?
Great idea.
Caleb Tyrion didn't do bad. He only had 2 penalties.
I thought he played well aside from the penalties. Because I saw a lot of people talking bad about Tyrion, and he had a bad PFF. But let me tell you, if you go and look at PFF on offensive linemen after they have penalties, that's how they look. They penalize them hard. Watching his plays, I saw one where he got beat pretty bad on a pass. Other than that, I thought he played pretty solid. He's a backup. You know, we're not depending on him to be a starter. I think some more work when he needs to come in, he'll be all right. So not that worried about him. Reichert's 54-yarder would have been good from space.
Okay.
Part one of my hot take.
I'll say I think his name is Jacob Roberts. That was the safety.
Thomas.
Jacob.
Oh, and Roberts, actually.
Yeah.
Roberts was a linebacker.
So yeah,
they both had interception.
I like the play where he basically went from the middle of the field and he went all the way to the other hash mark to catch an interception. That was a good play by him. Yeah. I think he might get cut though, but still, it was a good play.
I don't know, man. We don't got safeties, bro, and he was out there with the ones.
Keith, we had like 4 cornerbacks last year, and we cut one, I think.
He's not a cornerback though; he's a safety.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Jack, and amazingly, we did not cut Okuda.
We couldn't. I think we needed a minimum amount of corners on the team.
I think our best rookie was Golday.
Yeah.
He is as advertised, and kind of what I thought he would be. He's going to be kind of like one of those Greenways, one of those Kendricks guys, like Cashman. He's going to be like one of those type of linebackers. I don't think his future is at edge. I don't think he's a Van Ginkel replacement. Matter of fact, I would expect a Van Ginkel extension to come pretty soon. So I don't think that's what his role is going to be. He's going to take over for Eric Wilson, whether that happens sometime this season or next season. That's the role he's going to play, and he's going to be part of this rotation starting week 1. He's a football player.
Just be better than Ben Gideon.
Not setting high bars here.
Hey, you gotta start low. You start off with low expectation, and then you get happy as they exceed those expectations.
So Charles Demings, he's been, the talk of the town through this whole offseason. We didn't get to see much of him, and maybe that's a good thing. He was only targeted one time, and I think he played almost 30 snaps, so that might be a good thing. I think because during camp we've been hearing about, he had an interception, he locked down Justin Jefferson, he blocked the pass, and he's out there doing a dance, and he said this quote. We expected some flashiness. But if a cornerback name's not being heard, that's usually a good sign.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I feel like after that game, some of the fans are kind of like, "Oh, okay, that's why he's the 6th rounder." I was like, "What did you see that I didn't see?" It's not like they were picking on him. He faced one target.
Yeah, I thought Demings played well for his series. I thought he played well enough to move into that cornerback 3 role, especially after seeing what James Pierre did in preseason week 1. I thought James Pierre got knocked down the depth chart, and then Demings moved back to 3.
I mean, he's at least in the conversation. Like, yes. I don't think he's going to get there, but I think the leash on Pierre probably got shorter.
Yeah.
But I think he played well, and I can't wait to see these rookies in this game. They should all get a lot of run.
Yeah. And the panic button shouldn't be hit on Caleb Banks just yet. If people are hitting that, you're going to see him progress as the weeks go on and as the season go on. Like, I didn't think Caleb Banks is going to be in the starting rotation until mid-season. That's when I think he will be an established piece. Until then, you're going to see these rust.
Man, we got Shaq's twin up in here.
Yeah, my twin phone overheated again.
I was like, wait a minute. I got Shaq on the screen and I got Shaq in the green room. What is going on here? I didn't even have any of that Shaq stuff.
I will say with the preseason game, especially being the first one, you can't be too high on these players and you can't be too low. You just gotta basically evaluate the situations of the game. That's the best take you could get from these preseason games.
Yeah. I expected to see more from these guys, and maybe that's my own damn fault for getting hyped up from what we're hearing from camp and all the stuff coming out. But we did this last year with J.J. McCarthy, so I should have learned.
Mm-hmm.
And there is another great article on letskol.com about pump the brakes on your expectations for these guys. Okay, they are rookies, and they are still developing.
Mm-hmm. And what I heard today from the joint practices is Caleb Banks did take a massive step forward against the Ravens. He's back in the backfield. He's clogging up lanes. Seems like they're kind of still fixing his pad height, but he's doing very well against another team, not just against our offensive line.
I think I heard that he got into the backfield and tackled Derrick Henry for a loss.
You would be correct.
So that's a good sign.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I know it's only one preseason game, but we only get 3 of them, and we are evaluating players. Even as fans, we're evaluating players, and we have expectations of them. And we finally got to see them out there in some game action. And I think it's kind of natural to start having these reactions that we're having, like, oh, man, that's not what I thought, or, oh, wow, that's not what I thought. So player stocks rise and some player stocks fall. And that can happen from day to day, from game to game. I kind of want to know who your guys' rises and falls were, but I think obviously let's go ahead and shout out Jacob Thomas, because he was the darling of this game. That was a name that maybe not a lot of people knew about coming into this game. And a lot of people were still calling him Jacoby after this game. It's like, no, different guy. Jacob Thomas ended up being out there for 38 snaps, which is a crazy amount for preseason. He had 4 tackles. He had the interception. He had a pass deflection and a PFF score of 92.5. He also had 14 snaps on special teams, and his PFF for that was 82.3, which they grade pretty hard on special teams. So a really good day for Jacob Thomas, and showing the versatility to play safety and to play special teams, which being a UDFA, you're going to have to do that. And I know Shaq said he'll probably get cut. I'm thinking not, just because of how much he's out there for the special teams.
Mm-hmm.
So how does it feel that coming out of the preseason, game, we're not gassing up one of these guys that we drafted yet again? We're gassing up a UDFA.
It becomes the norm. It's the norm at this point.
But how does it feel for that being the norm?
I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, is the saying.
I guess the last time we were excited about a rookie after a preseason game was probably J.J. McCarthy.
Oof. I mean, I like the story behind it. Like we fell in love with John Randall. We fell in love with Adam Thielen. You like to see these guys, come in with a chip on their shoulder. Like, hey, I was undrafted. I'm going to show you why that was the wrong decision to make on me. And what he did during that preseason game, playing with the 3s, he jumped all the way up to start playing with the starters, the 1s. It took one preseason game, and that's all it takes for these undrafted free agents. I'm excited for it, but I have also heard this from a guy named Ivan Pace, and we've watched how Ivan Pace has played through the years, so I'm a little worrisome too. I'm more worrisome that our boy we drafted in the 3rd round out of Miami, Jacoby Thomas's name wasn't brought up, and he's not playing with the 1s, but the undrafted free agent Jacob Thomas is the guy playing with the 1s.
Well, Jacoby's been injured. Ivan Pace hasn't been. And I'm going to tell you, Jacob Thomas is not good for Ivan Pace, because Ivan Pace's way of staying on this team is his special team ability.
Mm-hmm.
If Jacob Thomas can go out there and do what Ivan Pace does for a third of the money, you're probably going to be a Raider, Ivan Pace.
Mm-hmm. And I think B-Flow takes safeties more into the season than what he does with linebackers. I think there's a special emphasis on safeties in a B-Flow offense or defense.
Yeah, they've always carried like five or six safeties, and they carry 3 to 4 cornerbacks and linebackers. It's kind of weird like that. So, Fish, we were just talking about Jacob Thomas, how he was pretty much the darling and probably the biggest riser of all Vikings. But I want to know who is your biggest riser and who was your biggest faller after this one?
Oh, my biggest riser had to be Myles Price. What do you have? 4 catches for 51 yards, including a touchdown. That touchdown was a nice little one-handed fingertip grab. We're getting there, Alex. Man, talk about impatient Vikings fans. But that wasn't even his best catch of the day. His best catch of the day was on the sideline from Carson Wentz. It was a contested ball. He ripped that ball out and advanced it further up the field for that first down. That was his best catch of the day. But he had 3 great catches. Shaq mentioned the one in the middle of the field earlier. And, Ty Felton was like Mr. Mankato or whatever, making all these one-handed catches in training camp. But once again, game time, Myles Price, he jumped. He looks like wide receiver 4. He looks like that. Who did we mention last week? That Brandon Powell. All right, I'm going to be wide receiver 4. Oh, it's 3rd down and 7. In I come. Let me see if I can move these sticks. And then if, God forbid, something happens to one of our 3 starters, then he would probably be slipping into like that slot role and running with the ones. He looked great, man.
We talked about it like during its offseason, how like on his social media, he's putting out videos of the training and work he's doing. And the training and work he was doing wasn't for returning kicks. He was determined to get out there on the field and play offense. So he's been putting in his work, and he said that there is not another wide receiver that can hang with him. So like he's very confident in his skills and his ability. And we did see this last preseason. Like when we started talking about Price during last preseason, like, hey, this guy might make the team. It wasn't because he was a kick returner. It's because, no, he was a wide receiver wearing a running back number and looking damn good.
He had that hellacious grab, that throw by Max Brosmer last year in the preseason that made me go, whoa.
On that end zone catch that Myles Price had, if you watch his route, the route he runs is kind of like similar to what Justin Jefferson runs on that corner, and the way he catches it on the sideline is similar to how Jordan Addison catches the football across the sideline. So
he's half Jefferson, half Addison.
Yeah, I got them both. He's taken this camp completely serious. I think he's learning from the 2 wide receivers that we have, and it's showing directly on the field during play.
He has certainly honed his craft.
Well, he was running routes with them in the offseason. He had put the videos out of them running routes together. And that one-handed end zone touchdown, I was on that sideline. So I got to see it from that perspective of him doing it. So, yeah, I'm excited for him. Price, he's definitely going to be he's definitely solidified himself for making the roster this year. I think he's good to go.
And Fish, who's your faller?
I hate to say it because, his UDFA rookie year, he flashed so much potential. Hell, I think he even wore the green dot for a couple of games in his rookie year. But it's Ivan Pace. I think about when he came on, he basically muscled Brian Asamoah out of a spot. And he is just slowly not only not been able to progress, but he's been pushed back. We re-signed Eric Wilson because Pace can't do it. We drafted Golday because Pace can't do it. And there's a certain amount of, well, he's really good at special teams. There's only so long that can keep you going, right? I mean, it's not like you're Cordero Patterson who can take 2 to the house every season or whatever have you. He's just starting to get himself pinched out of a spot on the Vikings roster. He gave up the touchdown pass, even though it was a bad mismatch. He stumbled on that big screen play and fell down. He was out of position. One thing about Pace is he's just not consistent.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he's really good or he's really bad, and he can't just be good, which would be good enough to keep him on the roster.
Yeah, when you talked about the bad mismatch on that touchdown, coaches ain't going to want that. They ain't going to want mismatches on the field. And I think because of Ivan Pace's height, and what's he sitting around right now? 5'10"?
5'10", 5'11".
On a good day, right? So it as a coach in B-Flow, I can see why he doesn't want to play them out there during the ones, because he is a mismatch. He is a hazard to that defense.
But you knew his height when you brought him in. You knew his height when you signed his exclusive rights free agent contract, whatever, this offseason, and it was going to cost you $3-4 million. Like, you knew this. It's not like all of a sudden he got out there on Saturday. Like, damn, this guy's kind of small.
I mean, you can still get away from that exclusive rights.
It's like I thought you were pro.
Maybe he's a grower, not a shower.
Oh my gosh.
Well, in his rookie season,
appreciate you, man.
In his rookie season, that's what they were talking about, was his height. And, it was covered for. Like, we saw the flashes, we saw the slashing, we saw the penetrating tackles. But every once in a while, he got thrown over.
Yeah, but you probably should have him like running in with a 6'3" wide receiver.
Oh, I guarantee you. But I mean, a good offensive coordinator who knows how to call real good offensive plays is going to create mismatches with configuration of the offense.
Shouldn't a real good coordinator be able to counter that?
It had to be. I think secondary would have to see that. Like, it had to be a smart defensive player on the field to know that, oh shit, we got Pace on a tall receiver. Let me bail on my assignment and go help him out. But
see, my problem with that is you don't have established positions in that B-Flow defense, right? So, what are you going to do?
I think the only way Pace can be a contribution to this team is if he's rushing the quarterback.
He can do, but I just don't have a lot of faith in him actually taking the quarterback down when he gets to him.
Yeah, and then there's another problem.
Like I said, like he's a good guy to be the first one to get to the ball and slow the ball carrier down, but then he usually needs a gang tackle.
I will say it was good coverage, though. I will give him that. He was an excellent coverage.
Too. Not everybody agrees with that up here. I thought it was good. I thought he did all he could do. He jumped at the right time. He got his hand in his face. Like, he did all he could do.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna be surprised if Ivan Pace doesn't end up making this team. I was actually surprised that they tendered him in the first place. But
like I said at the time when we were watching the game, Keith, I said it'd be like if you were covering me. And you said,
yeah,
I'd lock your ass up.
I'd kick you in the balls.
I mean, that's the only defense I can play. I'm not gonna, jump up and I'll jump you. So I don't know that we need 4 linebackers, Rinaldi, especially one that's $4 million. But we'll see. I know that Matt Daniels really likes him on special teams, and that might be a saving grace. Let's see. He was a UDFA, did all right for a couple seasons. No tragedy to cut him now. I agree, Alex. I don't think anyone's going to be too hurt or bummed out about it. I'm not going to be surprised either way, but it just seems like we do have some depth at other positions that we might want to keep some guys at. So it might get tight in some other areas. Mm-hmm. So I can see it. But yeah, I think Ivan's Pace stock did go down a little bit in this game. Shaq, who was your riser and who was your faller?
So my riser was me and Rinaldi's boy, Jay Ward, the safety. Like, he showed that, since we don't got Harrison Smith, maybe Jay Ward. I think Tyler Fornes even brought this up. Jay Ward could fulfill that Harrison Smith role of being you don't know if he's blitzing or he's covering type safety. But that blitz and that hit he put on Jackson Dart, I need to see that during a regular season a lot more because
I seen that on a t-shirt.
because the way Jay Ward did it, he timed it perfectly. I know they want to blame the running back, and then the Giants ended up signing Najee Harris because of that happening. But if we could get that from Jay Ward, that's when you start getting quarterbacks question and start seeing ghosts. Shout out to you, Sam Donald.
Yeah, I thought Jay Ward played well. I hope he plays. I hope he's not a guy that's not playing this week. Need to see more from him. Potential starter. It's going to be between him and Theo Jackson, or it might be him and Theo Jackson, because even if Harrison Smith comes back now, does he really start week 1? So Jay Ward probably has to start week 1. This is his opportunity. I think he did a good job putting himself on the map with that sack. Do you see how B-Flow would use him? Kind of like Harrison Smith. I mean, that was a sack that Harrison Smith used to make when he was younger. So that was pretty nice.
Let's be real, Shaq. That running back did make a business decision. He whiffed on that. But, a lot of times one of our things that we express fault in for our players is having opportunity and not being able to capitalize. And he put an exclamation point on that shit. So great play by him. Nice, It was a nice play by him. Definitely.
And he didn't get a flag. So, kudos to that. But for my faller, I know Keith didn't get the picture, but I kept sending in the group chat. It's freaking Jurgens, man. Like, my God, that sack we talked about with J.J. McCarthy, it's like everybody blame Scott for getting blown into the backfield. But if Jurgens would have just looked and blocked that guy, we wouldn't have to worry about Scott having to block a linebacker that's blitzing. I get it was an all-out blitz, and then, when that happens, though, each offensive lineman knows, oh, shit, it's an all-out blitz. You got to protect from inside to outside because the quickest way to the quarterback is inside. So if Jurgens would have just got hands on that rusher, then maybe Scott could have got better blocking, and then, J.J. McCarthy wouldn't have to run for his life. Pretty much the same thing with Jackson Dart. You can't allow – I know a lot of people are not going to want to call him a franchise quarterback yet, but you can't – there we go. What is he looking at? Everybody's touching somebody, and Jurgens is looking at the linebacker chilling.
Well, yeah, because that's why the linebacker's chilling. I think that linebacker's on a delayed blitz. Like if he wasn't there, that linebacker's screaming into the inside at McCarthy.
I get a delayed blitz, but at the end of the day, you gotta stop the immediate pressure first. Forget the delay.
Yeah, but that's not his job. That wasn't what he was assigned to. I think he did the right thing right there.
And man,
Shaq wants Jurgens gone, but he doesn't want Brandel to be center either. So like Shaq is really conflicted right now.
I want Jurgens gone.
we pretty much went to the draft as like, you know what? I like that guy. He played center for a couple games last year. He's gonna be our starter next year. And then who we got backing up Jurgens? Gavin
Gerhardt.
Gavin Gerhardt from Cincinnati. You can't even find a grade on this guy.
Well, he only played 7 snaps. We'll see what he does this week. He should get more time. I think Brandel should play. I think that's why Brandel and Murray should play. They should be working on that snap. They can't be having these problems that we're hearing about in camp, that the Kyler's fumbling and Brandel's not doing good snaps, which some of these snaps I've seen, like, okay, they're not perfect, but you should be catching those. So, I mean, there's still things to iron out, and I would like to see it at game speed.
I feel like this is about to come bite us during the season. I can see it now. overhike the ball to Murray, and now we go from like 2nd and 3 to 3rd and 20.
I think Gerhardt's 4th. What they got? Vershawn Lee. I think he played more center.
Yeah, Vershawn Lee and never mind. They move Rouse to guard.
Yeah,
What about Huber? They got him on the center depth chart.
I don't think he played any center. I think he only played guard on Saturday. Yeah, I don't know. I want to believe that Bradbury's going to be okay. Bradbury, fuck. I want to believe that Gerhardt's going to be okay. Huber and Bird are getting more snaps, but I'm talking about at center.
Mm-hmm.
How's your hip, Fish? Can you move left and right? How's your hip doing? Can you move left and right? Hike the ball?
Yeah.
Well, Vikings got tried.
Look, man. I mean, are we that bad, Shaq, that we got to go into this well after all these developments in the last month?
I mean, shit. You look at our starting center, and then our backups. I mean, I'm pretty sure they'll take a crack at it.
Yeah.
So I had a riser and a faller from this game. So I'm going to start with the faller because just like Keith mentioned earlier, it was Caleb Banks. I mean, I was excited to watch him play. I didn't get to watch him play, but I heard it on the radio. I heard what and I was like, "Oh, you're lying. No, he's not getting washed out." And it was him in orange, and I was like, "Oh no, and it made me disappointed. Then I actually went home. I watched the game. I watched what they were talking about, and yes, he was getting washed out on some plays. His pad height was too high, and that's your first round pick going in there against some twos and just a couple play snaps with the ones. It's kind of worrisome, but again, you look at how much football time he has missed. It's not something to hit the panic button right now, but he is a faller as of right now for preseason week 1. The biggest riser that I wanted Myles Price. Fish, that's Fish's boy. I talked crap on him last year during his drop kick returns and letting it go out of the end zone and taking out of the end zone and whatnot. Mine is Carson Wentz, right? And I only say that he's a riser because he came to this team not expecting to have a position, to play, to be quarterback 3, 4, 2, or even 1. He is signed on to the team. He played just as good, I thought, as McCarthy did. So I would bring him into conversations as him battling for the quarterback 2 now, just after that preseason week 1 game.
So do you think he rise to QB2?
I hope not, because I still want to see J.J. McCarthy on this football team. Because if he's not on this football team, it's a disaster.
Do you think there is a battle for QB2? Do you think it's up in the air?
I do think there's a battle for quarterback 2.
There was an interesting take by, what's his name, Daryl from the Purple Dopes, which he said that if it's a matter of having to replace Kyler Murray in the middle of a game for just a game, it's Carson Wentz. But if it's a matter of having to play multiple games in replacement, it's J.J. McCarthy.
Makes sense.
Heard that somewhere else.
That makes sense.
I don't know. I don't know if it does. I mean, I get the thinking behind it, but if that's your second best quarterback that you're going to run with, why would you wait to put him in? Why does he need to come in fresh?
I think earlier in the year, if Kyler Murray goes down with an injury and it's significant, I think Carson Wentz is the quarterback 2. Later in the year, when let's say the team after the bye week, is losing hope on playoff contention, you're going to see J.J. McCarthy. That's if they're both still on this football team.
I don't want to say, but I'm trying to say pretty much there might be high odds that we end up seeing Brosman still this year. Because if you think about it, all these quarterbacks is coming off an injury.
Well, what was it? 2023. We did have 4 starting quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm. I think you're good with putting Brosmer on the practice squad, and he's probably not getting stolen from any of the 31 other.
Probably not.
Shaq, you just gave me my purple prophecy prediction for tonight.
Unless somebody's looking for like a tackling dummy for practice.
Unless somebody's looking for a 4th starting quarterback.
But they're willing to put him on the roster for it.
Yeah.
All right, Brosman, we need you for a scout team.
So
play this linebacker.
My rider was a guy who actually didn't play that much, and wasn't really a guy that I was paying attention to going into this. But he caught my attention at the end of the game when the game was actually pretty boring, and I just wanted it to be over. And that was linebacker Bengali Kamara. And I remember when we signed him because I saw the name Kamara, and that name just does not resonate well with the Vikings. But I guess I'm glad he's on our side. He was a tryout signing, much like Elijah Williams was last season. So maybe he can have the same kind of story, but he only had 14 snaps in this game. Definitely made the most out of it. He had 5 tackles, which led the team, and all 5 tackles were considered a stop. And a stop is defined as a tackle that makes the play considered a failure for the offense. So he's not, he's making these tackles before they gain 2 to 3 yards. His PFF was a 90.9. His run defense a 90.6. His tackling 77.7. Pretty good scores, pretty good stats for 14 snaps. But I'm not lying. Watching the game, I was seeing who's that guy making those plays? He's all over the place, and it was Kamara. I didn't know that he had 5 tackles and 5 stops until I went and saw the stats. Just a guy that I noticed at the end of the game when the game was boring. I would like to see him maybe get a little bit more run a little earlier in the game, playing against some number 2s instead of playing against some number 4s. But he's another guy where if we are going to keep 4 linebackers, but maybe we're not going to keep Ivan Pace, he may have a chance to backdoor this thing. But definitely got to see it again. 14 snaps, small sample size, but I do like what I saw. I did go back and, watch some of his college tape, after this just to see who he was. He played for Pitt. Pretty good player. Yeah, he got after the quarterback a lot. He's a pass rusher. He's a run stopper, high motor guy. The stuff that the B-Flow likes. He's a B-Flow guy. You can't have too many B-Flow guys. So
he's like,
was he a UDFA?
He wasn't even a UDFA. I mean, technically he is, but he was a tryout.
Hey, yeah.
Schoolmaster, you know how I know you're not following us on Twitter or X? Because I posted about this guy. Go follow.
Yeah.
But I do want to see him do a little more in this game. My dropper, my follower was a guy that I have been hyping up this offseason, and I'm not falling off of him, but he dropped a little bit, in my opinion, and that's Ty Felton. I don't think one single play caused more damage to any other player. You could talk about Ivan Pace, bad angle on that play. You could talk about James Pierre. Ty Felton dropping that pass pretty much diminished everything that he has worked for this offseason. Everything we've heard about, the great camp that he's having, the great catches he's making, he came out and did that in front of everybody, and now it's same Ty Felton. So I think his stock dropped tremendously off of one play. It bounced right off his damn chest, and it made the quarterback look bad who is, trying to prove himself. So let's hope for a bounce back this week. But as of right now, he's my biggest faller.
Kids at home, stop worrying about making one-hand flashy grabs and just learn how to secure the ball with 2 hands in clutch situations.
Oh, I don't know, Alex. I don't know. Ty is a surprise cut. It's possible. We did talk about surprise cuts earlier this offseason, and he was on our list of candidates. He's probably looking like wide receiver 5 right now. I really think his price is to lose at this point. Mm-hmm. Just based off what we saw that game, and just based off knowing that he's been working for that this whole offseason. Let's go 218. Wide receiver 5. I mean, I think he still makes it because I think the guy that would challenge for wide receiver 5 was UDFA Dylan Bell. And unfortunately for Dylan Bell, he dropped the screen pass. Like he looked really good on the end arounds, which that's kind of what he did at Georgia, but you can't have a guy where he comes in, okay, here comes the end around.
Mm-hmm.
Got to be able to catch the ball too. So he kind of blew it too. I just ripped Bell. See, I'm one step ahead of you, Watson. I don't know that Bell's going to make this team now. He's been a camp darling, but we actually haven't heard that much from him recently.
Yeah, and the wide receiver spot is not a spot for no news is good news. You have to be flashy, especially if you're a UDFA.
Yeah, and especially at the end of the line, like for when you're playing for that last spot. So I think right now we keep 5. I don't know if we keep 6, maybe, but I don't think Price gets cut yet.
No,
I mean Ty Felton. Sorry, I don't think Felton's cut yet. I mean, he's still got special teams value and he has had a good camp. The one pass, maybe the Vikings staff doesn't hold it as critical as us fans do because they've seen a lot more than we've seen. So I don't think he's getting cut. Just real quick, I wanted to go through you guys' camp battles and just where they at right now. Cody, you had Damon Claiborne versus Xavier Scott. How'd that fare?
I think Damon Claiborne has won that camp battle as of right now. And seeing highlights and what people are saying during the joint practices, he's completely far ahead of Xavier Scott. Xavier Scott probably doesn't make the 53, probably gets pushed down to the practice squad, and Claiborne makes it. I think Claiborne has been phenomenal after the OTAs and into training camp. I just watched him today break off a wide zone run that went for 50 yards and a touchdown against the Ravens defense. So, and Ravens rush defense was no slouch last year. I think they were ranked like 13th in the league. So he's taken the battle. I think he's won the battle. No. There's some news with this jersey collection come here next year, though. I'll let you know that here a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think either of them really did anything to help themselves on Saturday. I think Claiborne has the bigger upside, and right now that's probably what's going to end up winning this thing. I don't think Claiborne's a great blocker or pass catcher, which as a third down back, he's going to need to be. I know he did upend one guy, but I also saw him whiff on a couple blocks. But Xavier Scott was credited with 3 hurries himself. So I don't think he did anything to separate himself. Claiborne was the one getting the bulk of the carries. He's a guy that they're just hoping can, hit a home run, and Shaq's internet's going wonky again.
It's wonky. I like Claiborne because of the wide zone offense that we're running right now. It fits him more than it would Xavier Scott.
So, Fish, for the battle, you had Theo Jackson versus Jay Ward versus Jacoby Thomas. I think right now Jacoby Thomas is probably out of it just because he's been injured, missed key time, didn't play in that first preseason game. Technically, it could end up being Jay Ward and Theo Jackson, but let's say Harrison Smith does come back and he's starting week 1. Who's winning this battle between Theo and Jackson, Jay Ward, in your opinion, right now?
Well, I mean, the eye test in that game was obviously Jay Ward. He had that great sack. He played well enough anyway, which means that it's going to be Theo Jackson because that's how it works, right? Jacoby Thomas will have a spot on the roster despite the fact that he's missed so much time for injury, couldn't play in the game. Jay Ward flashed, and that means that Theo Jackson's going to be the week 1 starter next to Harrison Smith. It's just the way it's going to work out. That seems to be the way, right? We get excited. We see a player play in preseason, and we're like, hell yeah, they look good. Hell yeah, look at that play. Hell yeah. What do you mean we cut him? What do you mean we sent him to the waiver wire, to the practice squad? And I just feel like that's the way it's
$4 million. You got to start him.
Yeah. So I just think that there's other factors other than on-field play that are going to contribute to this. And unless Jay Ward all of a sudden he comes out, looks like a first-team All-Pro in preseason, he doesn't stand a chance of getting the job over Theo Jackson.
Yeah, I think Theo Jackson has lost the starting spot. Hell, I think Jacob Thomas might have a better chance at this point. What's up, Shaq? We got you?
Yeah.
All right, so you had Elijah Williams versus Isaiah Loudermilk. Anything spark your interest in this game?
Well, I noticed that they both had sacks. There was one play I did like by Elijah Williams, Big Dub 99. He hit Daniel Falele, Minnesota legend, big right tackle, made his rounds in the NFL. He hit him with a move, and then got to the quarterback, and then the next couple days later, he ended up getting traded to the Jaguars. Not Elijah Williams, but Daniel Falele ended up getting traded. So, what we doing out here, we're getting people traded. So that's what I like to see. And Isaiah Loudermilk, he pretty much impressed me because I wasn't expecting him to get a sack, but I did like how he got his sack. So it's going to be a good competition. Who knows? They might both end up making the roster.
Possibly. I thought Loudermilk might have had a better chance just because of the veteran leadership we talked about and, having all these young guys on the line. But I don't know. That sack that Elijah Williams had, that was pretty nice. And he's just continuing what we saw from him in preseason last year, which had him making the 53. I think Elijah Williams, he fits with what this team is doing and this team's identity right now. So the only way, if they keep them both, that's the only way Loudermilk is making this thing. I think at this point, I'm putting a lock on Elijah Williams. Like, that's not a guy you're sneaking to the practice squad. And then I had Tyler Batty, Bo Richter, and Chambliss. Not a lot coming out from those guys. Chambliss had a tackle. Batty didn't have any stats. And Richter, he had one sack. It was a nice sack. That's kind of what I expect from him. Is like I said, I think he could get 5 to 6 sacks, backing up Dallas Turner. So I'm still going to have him as the leader for that. I don't know if they end up keeping 2 of these guys or if they only keep 1. But if it's 1, I'm still sticking with Bo Richter. Let's see what they do on Sunday or Saturday.
And I think that's the play where Big Dub hit that move on Falele because he did that underneath rip, forced the quarterback to step outside the pocket, and there was Bo ready to just ride him to the ground. Yeah, man. Hey, sacks are sacks, right, baby? That's what we're looking for off that edge, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take the sack over the pressure any day.
Shut your mouth.
You can get pressure, but that doesn't mean you're going to stop the play. Sacks are guaranteed loss of yardage. Pressure just means, you cause the quarterback to panic.
I don't buy that bullshit for 1 second, Shaq. You better explain that to me. Talk to me like I'm a 5-year-old.
Well, when you get a sack, the offense lose yardage. When you get pressure, there's no guarantee that the offense loses yardage.
No shit.
I like this comment. Dallas Turner might be the biggest riser of everyone. He is playing as advertised this offseason. I don't know that he was the biggest riser from this game, but all the smoke has been positive about Dallas Turner. And again, during these joint practices, the Vikings are having joint practices right now with the Ravens yesterday and today. And his name is one that's coming up. Our boy Skol Cole, he was at the practices. He said on Wednesday he counted him for at least 3 sacks. There are some other people that said, oh, no, it was more like 5. So, and that's against a pretty good Ravens team. Is this starting to look like maybe Shaq might have undersold Dallas Turner?
I don't know, bro.
Suddenly 25 sacks doesn't look hot, Shaq. It's kind of cold.
Yeah. I would say it's still hot. I don't know if it's lava.
Wow.
He threw a cup of water on it.
I mean, I could take a shower in that, just saying.
I do want to say there's another show that does predictions, and they thought they had a pretty hot one this week, saying that Dallas Turner would be top 10 in sacks. And he's like, yeah, because that'd be like around 12 sacks. You call that hot?
It's not that hot. I will say though, we pretty much Turner always had the speed to be a good pass rusher. It's just he didn't have no moves. So like having pass rush moves is a big part of being a pass rusher. So when you're able to, get either a spin move, which Darisaw had talked about, he was working on since his rookie year, and then have a counter move. So now that you got 2 pass rush moves in your arsenal, and then you got the speed blitz, that way you can confuse offensive lineman as to what he's gonna do. And then nowadays, you got, I know Danielle Hunter did it once, and then Myles Garrett did it. If he could add the hezzy step as a pass rusher, he could honestly be one of the best in the league. Because he already got the athleticism. He just needs the moves.
It's nice, as much as Vikings fans love to become infatuated with the UDFA darlings, like, oh, he's a UDFA, but he's playing so great, and they get kind of romanticized that. It's just so nice to see a top draft pick be as advertised.
Mm-hmm.
By God, if we could have a few more of those, we'd be on to something. It's okay to see, UDFA linebacker or whatever getting an interception and being like, yeah, hell yeah. But it's just so much better to see our first-round draft pick is looking like he might be dominant this year in his 3rd season. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I'm starting to fully buy in. Like, I was kind of skeptical coming in. Like, yes, he did look good. Yes, he did look better. But we just did give up Jonathan Grenard, and all those pressures he had. Like, how are we going to replace those pressures? And then even if we do replace them, who's going to replace the pressures that Dallas Turner was getting? Like, I'm not as worried about that anymore. Like, I think the pressures are going to be there, and I think Dallas Turner is going to have a great year, and for years to come.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought this was interesting that Alex said this. Kwesi nailed the Turner trade-up pick. I was actually thinking on my way home from work today, the Vikings are going to have like 6 or 7 Kwesi draft picks starting this year.
It don't even matter.
Addison,
right?
Turner,
Donovan Jackson.
Okay. J.J. McCarthy.
Jay Ward.
Jay Ward. There was one more. Oh, Terry Ingram Dawkins, Levi Drake Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Jeremy.
It's interesting that you've just brought this up, Keith, because earlier today I was kind of thinking, man, it almost feels like Kwesi's fingerprint has almost been removed from the team, but no, it has not.
Nope. Like, might have 7 starters that he drafted for as bad as we said. Reichard's another one. That's good call, Alex. It got me thinking just because I was thinking about, like, man, this draft that we were all so excited about, it ended up being a damn UDFA that we're excited about after the first game. Like, this is all too familiar. And I started thinking about, like, Kwesi, glad he's not here. And that's like, started thinking about, like, the players that he drafted. Like, well, he's starting. Wait, he's starting. Wait a minute. We might have more Kwesi starters than Spillman starters at this point for the first time.
I mean, shit, Spillman starters getting old.
I mean,
but I am saying, I think last year we had more starters that came from Rick Spillman than came from Kwesi. All right, so I got an idea for this. As I say, unless anybody has one, I got a question that we could all answer. But Fish, if you have one, I want to hear it.
All right, so this is more of a prediction, but it's a statement about the situation of the Vikings in our roster. My Gallahorn is this: none of the Minnesota Vikings quarterbacks will have over 2,000 yards in passing this season, but Justin Jefferson will still have over 1,000 yards receiving.
That's a prophecy.
That's wild.
That's a prophecy, but I'm not buying it.
I would hope not. I would shit.
Kyler Murray's going to throw for over 3,000 yards. Like I said it, Kyler Murray is my quarterback. I'm not going back on that. And like, if I like be honest with myself, I think he's going to have a decent season. I don't know that he's going to have the type of season where I'm going to be like on board with spending $50-60 million on him next year. But I mean, I think we're going to go to the playoffs with him.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I think Kyler Murray goes over 2,000 yards.
I would hope so. At most, I need to see at least 3,000.
But the second part of that, sure. I don't think any of the Vikings quarterbacks had 2,000 yards last year. I mean, he got his 1,000. So yeah, I mean, 1,000 is not a lot, man. It's like 60 yards a game. He should be getting that damn near on 2 catches. So like,
that's bad. We had no quarterbacks throw for more than 2,000.
Like, he should be like 1,500. That should be the benchmark for him.
Like RIP, but that's giving me Tavares Jackson vibes.
I mean, it was very Tavares Jackson like. You know, you'd have this one game where you look like, okay, we got something. Then we have this game. What the fuck is that? I had 2,000 yards walking from my seat to the bathroom to throw up last year. Lefty.
I got a Gallahorn, and it was talks. KOC came over the net, says J.J. McCarthy is our quarterback too. The way this offseason has gone in the preseason, I think it's making Kevin O'Connell into a difficult decision not to name Carson Wentz quarterback too.
That's tough. I think he is in a difficult spot because I think most people, I don't know if it's most, but many people do think that Carson Wentz should be the quarterback too.
Mm-hmm. And I think he wants to hold on to McCarthy. Like, I mean, he has to, right?
That's the hot part. That's the hot part that you're saying that you think he wants to hold on to him.
Yeah. I mean, you have to.
If you look at it, he probably could start seeing himself in J.J. McCarthy. Pretty much the unsung.
Man, he saw himself in Max Brosmer.
He sees himself in all these quarterbacks.
I think Max Brosmer has more regular season snaps than KOC had.
And that's the hard part, Andrew. If you want to make Wentz 2, you're telling McCarthy he is done. It is too early. That's tough on him.
I mean,
it's going to be very interesting to see what they do. But I think, I don't know, if somebody floated the Vikings a 4th round pick, they're probably jumping on it.
And I don't want to take that trade.
Man. That Sam Darnold situation. Oh.
So I don't really have one, but what I did want to ask you all else, because we didn't really talk about Saturday's game, which there's really nothing to preview. It's a preseason game. What is one thing that you do want to see from this game on Saturday, besides us being live, whoever can make it?
Well, this is a question that's been on my mind the last few days. I want to see our 2 rookie defensive tackles take a positive step forward.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what I wanted to say. I want to see progression out of Caleb Banks and Dominique Orange.
That's fair.
What about you? I want to see Brandel and J.J. McCarthy play a whole half.
I like that.
I like that too.
I know a lot of stars aren't going to play, but I feel like this is one of those situations where Brandel should still be out there, even if the rest of the offensive line is not. Because he has something that he needs to be working on, and that's something he could be doing by himself. It's not like he needs the rest of the offensive line out there to be getting the snaps down. Maybe J.J. McCarthy might have to get in shotgun on his knees to make it a little better practice.
I was
for
thinking
Branko.
about that.
But
You got to simulate.
yeah, no, that's good. I do think we'll get at least a half of football out of J.J. McCarthy and then a half out of Carson Wentz. I think that's how it's going to go down. I don't think Brosmer's going to play.
Yeah, Brosmer could have the third preseason game.
I think it's the best thing for McCarthy too, is getting him in there these preseason games for a lengthy period of time. I think that's more beneficial to the team than it is for Kyler Murphy to be out there for more than a series.
I have a question for you.
I would still
three
give Kyler
also.
Murray a quarter. I'll still give him a quarter. I'll give him a
I would
quarter.
love to, but
I have
know
a
he's not
question
gonna
for
do
you
it.
three, because I genuinely haven't seen it. Have any of you seen a picture of Ivan Pace and Kyler Murray standing side by side together?
No, one's offense, one's defense, so they're probably not next to each other too much. And I'm gonna be honest, Kyler Murray seems kind of antisocial. I don't think he's the locker room hangout guy after practice.
Why would he hang out when they could just hop on a game?
He's like, yeah, here's my gamer tag. I'll be on.
Deuces.
I did see Kyler Murray next to Randy Moss,
Yeah.
so that was pretty cool. Yeah, it's there. There's a picture.
Awesome.
So I want to see Bengali Kamara get some more run, some more meaningful run earlier, and I want to see Jacob Thomas repeat what he did. But what I really want to see is Charles Demings get tested.
Mm-hmm.
He's no longer this story, the 6th round guy that could make this roster and be a player for us down the future. Nah, he's proven that he's gonna be a player on this team soon. And even at the cornerback 4, we're gonna need him at some point. Like, someone's gonna go down, someone's gonna struggle. He is going to have to come in. Pierre has never really been a full-time cornerback, so he is going to have to play for this team. I need to see him really go out there and get tested against some opposition. I hope KOC talk to whoever the Ravens coach is and says, throw the ball his way, please. Like, I need to see this. So I need to see Demings get tested because he is going to have to play.
And I think from the joint practices, what I've been seeing is he's been getting tested. So we might have to look at that matchup during the preseason game. Demings versus Jacoby Lane.
Oh, who won that one in practice?
It was mixed. The first game, Jacoby Lane had won, but today practice, there's a video of him locking up Jacoby Lane.
Yeah, okay. I just want to see if he was going to keep it real.
Of course I keep it real.
I just wanted to see where you were going to go with it. But, yeah, it seemed like day 1 did go to Lane and day 2 went to Demings. I just want to see it, in a game, even though it's an exhibition game.
I mean, for them, they got shit to prove. For both of them.
So, I don't know if you guys caught it in the chat. I don't know if you guys caught it on the panel. We will be live on Saturday during the game, giving live commentary, talking about the game. Won't be showing the game. I know someone's going to ask, are you guys going to be showing it? No, I'm not going to show the game. I'm not going to jeopardize the channel like that. But we will be on here talking, and we invite all of you to come on camera and talk with us. Like, let's just hang out. Let's do a little Skol and chill and watch this game together. We will be getting out of here shortly, but before we do that, let's go ahead and get into these purple prophecies and make our weekly predictions. Who's ready? Fish has been sitting on this for 2.5 hours. Let's go.
Thank you for your inspiration, Shaq. You're almost as motivational as Chuck Demings. Max Brosner is going to start a game and win a game for the Minnesota Vikings this season.
Damn. That was more than I thought. Like, obviously, I knew you were going Max Brosner because of what he said, and then your response that you gave me. I thought you were going to say that he's going to throw a touchdown pass this season. Nah, you say he's going to win us a damn game. Okay. What do you got, Shaq?
So mine is not going to be Vikings related, but it will be QB related. Mac Jones will be traded before week 1, and he's going to be a starter for a new NFL team.
Ooh. off record, like, is he starting like week 1 because a starter went down, or like he'll start like in the first few weeks?
My mind's getting foggy with all that information.
I said off the record.
I know.
Off the record.
I'll say it's probably gonna be a team feel like they don't got a quarterback ready to start, so they called 49ers, hit up Mac Jones. It's probably gonna be a team that's familiar with the Kyle Shanahan that probably runs that type of same offense.
So then it's probably like, you have Sean Hill start a game, but then you bring in Sam Bradford week 2.
Yeah, pretty much.
See, Shaq, Keith has forgotten about your game. You like those predictions where it takes until like 2028 to verify it,
I mean, this is gonna happen.
Well, he said this season and before week 1.
Yeah, before week 1. Look, the Raiders said they're not ready to QB1.
Wentz. I mean, you threw Wentz in there, so it's a little less hot. If you would have just said Brosman, that would have been fire, Schoolmaster.
Fire. Brosman win the shit.
You see Brosmer in the game, we're gonna have nightmares of Davis Webb.
You see Brosmer in the game, we're starting aftercare early.
In the playoffs, shit, that was like when the Broncos had hope. They was like, yeah, we could do it. we could go to the Super Bowl, and that ended quickly against the Patriots.
Damn, they probably would have won that game. Broncos probably would have went to the Super Bowl.
Yep,
that's crazy.
Probably would have won the Super Bowl.
Whip, sucks to suck. What do you got, Cody?
So I'm going to go with our boy Damon Claiborne coming up this Saturday. I'm going to say my prediction is Damon Claiborne will break off a 30-plus yard run.
Better not fumble after. He's like, I didn't say nothing about that. Alex has hot take. Jefferson will retire a Viking. Well, that's true, Alex, because I don't know if you know this. We don't even have to extend him or re-sign him to do this, because what we could do when his contract runs out, we can franchise tag him. Then after that, we can franchise tag him again. And many people don't know this. We can actually franchise tag him a third time. So there's a good chance, Alex, that he does retire a Viking. And that was way too niche for everybody except for probably me and Alex. Fish might have got it.
I got
it. All right. For mine, J.J. McCarthy will throw for at least 150 yards and 1 touchdown on Saturday.
How many interceptions?
I said 150 yards and 1 touchdown on Saturday.
Look, he didn't make you sick about that fumble shit.
So, I mean, that's pretty good for a half, considering I think his average for a whole game last season was like 160. So
development.
150 and a half and a touchdown pass.
Wow. I'll dig it. I'll be satisfied with that.
All right. Well, that's going to be our show, fellas. Getting you out here. This one ran about 8 minutes longer than we've been going. And I had more stuff on here, but I had to. We've done enough tonight. We got to get back at this on Saturday. So, Shaq, final words.
Final words. Thanks for everybody tuning in to Skol Podcast. If you're feeling generous, you can send donations by going on YouTube and clicking the $sign, send a donation that way. Or if you have Cash App downloaded, you can type on Cash App, $sign, Let's Go Podcast, and send a donation that way. You don't have to, but we greatly appreciate it. And if you go into the game, make sure you take pictures and submit it to the Facebook group. We love to see fans at all these Vikings games. Show your support. That's all I got.
Michael Fish.
For Vikings fans, by Vikings fans, into 20 more years, fellas. I know it doesn't mean anything, but let's just go 2-0 this weekend and just let's just do it right. Look good doing it. And Class G33, the answer to that question is yes. And yeah, I'll see y'all in a couple of days. We'll have a little fun watching this football game. Let's go.
Let's go.
Cody.
Hey, it's like every other Thursday. You guys listen to us, we can listen to you. So if you got any problems over the net, just hit one of us up. We'll be more than happy to respond to you. Even if you got a question, and we can mention that question during one of our live shows. We love your guys' feedback. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. And as always, let's go.
All right, that's our show. We'll be live during the game on Saturday, bright and early. So join us. Until then, let's Skol.
Let's go.
Let's go! For Viking fans, Minnesota Vikings.